need help from the Almighty to ask why we don't discuss the trials of Chris Lighty. From Ku Klux, the clan who tied Emmett Till to a fan, the same that shot Trey Zimmerman's, and they got my stomach in a knot. I'm bent over praying to God like it's a lot. Ankles tied to some chains. I wanna say yes, but it's no, like Tulane. I'm an N.O. Not many blacks make it to the show. Jay Leno went broke in the Bentley. Now I'm rich, whipping a Pinto. I'm stunting like deep dish rims on Hertz rentals. When I was broke, I'd be proud to sell dope to your own folks' house, nigga. I meant it how it sounds. Well, what are white rappers when they mold Mike Brown down? Nowhere to be found.
Lavelle William Crump, aka David Banner, born April 11th, 1974. Today's feature is a rapper that doesn't get enough credit for his artistry, and maybe it's because as an artist he has such a wide range of talent that one doesn't get the exposure it should as he's on to the next creative or life endeavor. From rapper to producing, movies, directing, apparel, to doing all the music at the World Cup for Gatorade. David Banner is also one of the few rappers that can say he has a college degree, being a Bachelor of Science with a focus on business. Like his on-screen namesake, you never know what you're going to get as far as what's released from David Banner's mind, but one thing you can be sure of is it's always going to be quality and worth paying attention to. But in today's story, we'll focus on David Banner the rapper, one that had a huge opportunity in the early 2000s to be one of the standout rappers in the game, not just from the South. He found fame in a time where the South had just began to make another surge with the slow down sound and snappy beats, the mood of the era. An argument can be made that David Banner helped usher in the new wave of Southern rappers along with Lil Flip and T.I., the Paul Walls, Mike Jones, Slim Thug, Chamillionaires, and more of the time. He produced one of T.I.'s staple songs, Rubber Band Man, from T.I.'s sophomore trap music album that became his first platinum album, leading to 5 straight. Banner has produced for Rough Riders, Nappy Roots, Chingy, Chamillionaire, Lil Wayne, Mary Mary, Maroon 5, Snoop Dogg, Pimp C, and even Christian rapper Lecrae. But somehow when you think of earlier rappers, his name is never brought up. When doing a show with Joe Budden, Charlemagne called David Banner's 2017 The God Box album the greatest album in recent memory out of anybody. But you wouldn't know that because the God Box charted 76 on the Billboard 200, 33 in hip hop and R&B, and sold 8,524 copies first week. An album David Banner says he spent over $100,000 putting together, which he did all sample free in an effort he says to help push hip hop forward. That if we keep sampling music, what will the kids have to build on? He actually had an orchestra play an original score specifically for David Banner, composed by John Debney, who also worked on Iron Man and The Passion of Christ at the end of the song My Uzi featuring Big Crit. No, the numbers don't add up as to why he would do such a thing, just like the numbers don't say that David Banner was or is a top rapper in the game. But one thing's for sure, he had the chance to be the go-to rapper or producer in the 2000s, but didn't quite hit the mark. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. You can also send a super thanks by clicking the button below. Enjoy the video. David Banner was born in Brookhaven, Mississippi before moving to and being raised in Jackson. He always had a love for music, but in his household, education was first and foremost for young Lavelle. He graduated high school in 1992 and attended Southern University, where he was class president of the student government. After graduating with a business degree, he attempted to further his education as well as his leadership in that field by getting his master's in education, but before he could complete it, his music career began to show promise and he decided to follow the progress. He and friend, a rapper by the name Kamikaze, would form a rap group and send demos to radio stations under the name Crooked Letters and were signed to Penalty Records that housed Capone and Noriega, Lil Mo, and Trina. Their debut album came out in 1999 called Gray Skies. David Banner then attempted a solo career, dropping his debut album independently in 2000, to which created a bidding war for his services and his eventual signing to Universal and SRC. Stunt number 1, a gift and a curse. Arguably, what helped David Banner become successful is the same thing that may have held him back: the fact he is so versatile. By 2003, David Banner was primed to make his initial run in hip-hop. That year, he released his first hit song Like a Pimp featuring Lil Flip, and also produced T.I.'s hit single Rubber Band Man later that year. I remember Like a Pimp coming out and was literally all you heard since its release. Back then, ringtones were in the prime of its popularity, and that song's beat had to be one of the best ringtones in history, and one of the most annoying at the same time, because it was all you ever heard. The song itself, though, along with the video, was a hit. It was a top 10 rap song on Billboard for 2003, and the song that Banner says changed his life. It led to his second studio album, Mississippi, that charted number 9 and was the number 1 hip-hop album. He dropped another album later that year as a part 2 to the first that was his lowest charting album before 2017's The God Box. A fourth album in 2005 that became his highest charting, including his highest peaking song of his catalog, a song called Play. David Banner has always had the Midas touch for creating hit songs. In fact, I'm probably underselling his ability to produce hits for himself and others. He once said he always tries to make something different every time, even if he had success with a sound or song prior. Yes, that's great, but it leaves a chunk of possible hit records that could have been milked by that sound off the table as he moves on to the next. Usually when a rapper or producer finds a sound, they stick to it as long as it works, and I think Banner should have done this more often. Even his career and persona now versus then is vastly different. Coming from songs like a Pimp and Play to more conscious rap and character in 2022. Yes, growth and change is needed, but in the entertainment industry, if it works and sells, it's still alive. David Banner's gift of ever-changing contradicts that often and caused his music to be passed over for other artists that understood how to dumb or slow it down. Stunt number 2, just not quite. Another thing I think stunted David Banner's growth as far as how he was and is viewed in hip-hop is his music was always right on the fine line of being this or that. Like if it was a song made to be a hit, it was never quite the number 1 hit or not somewhere close. As mentioned, his song Play was his highest charting song, peaking at 7 on the charts. His next highest, Get Like Me with an on-fire Chris Brown, as well as Young Jock, produced by himself, charted 16 on Billboard but didn't do much to help the album get over the top and finally give David Banner a number 1 or top 5 album. Speaking of albums, David Banner's were for the most part, before Death of a Pop Star in 2010, were mostly geared toward popular music and topics, but none of them quite separated themselves as staples in hip-hop, and none even reached gold or platinum status. Another reason why he's viewed as a good rapper but not quite the rapper that had his moment in hip-hop where he controlled the game. All memorable rappers have that one or more moment where you look back and you say, I remember he ran that time. Maybe because Banner's constant change of mood and want to expand made his music accepted but not quite stick.
I just wanted a different feeling. I felt trapped in rap music. I just felt like I was in a box, man, and I wanted to get out.
Stunt number 3, The Change. Finally, what I think stunted the second half of David Banner's growth was the abrupt change of style and introduction of consciousness to his music that fans didn't understand. He explains this in an interview with Billboard, where he says that people consume music at a 2nd to 3rd grade level. He wanted to make music that's 12th or higher. When you change from popular music that chase trendy topics and song charts to music that feels like a lecture or class, there's always a chance fans misinterpret it and brush it off as too deep or too complicated for them to enjoy. After all, it's still entertainment. Making conscious songs that shed light on things like injustice and misfortune is difficult to use as entertainment and more like a lesson that not everyone is open to sitting through or have time to sit through more than once, if that. Yes, it's creative, but it's hard to move numbers in this climate, which is why his most recent The God Box release only sold 8,000 copies, less than the actual physical box of goodies it came in. All in all, David Banner is still one of the most creative people in music, and I enjoy his work, which is why he's featured. But because he changed his sound and direction so often, didn't quite push any one direction to its peak, and abruptly upped the grade level of his music, his growth was stunted as far as his musical potential to be seen, noticed, and remembered like he could have. He's still a great artist and orator that you can always learn something from when he speaks. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.